everybody, I'm Lee, chef and owner of Wild Spork Food Truck here in Cleveland, Ohio. Actually today we're at our home kitchen in Fairport, Ohio. So today we are going to talk about the book I wrote. It's called Help Me, I'm Vegan, and it's going to give you some tips, tricks, and sort of recipes to help you get started on your plant-based journey, or hopefully give you some new ideas if you're already on one. So the reason I say sort of recipes is because I'll teach you how to make certain dishes, but I'm not going to tell you exactly how much of this or that. It's more about the process, how to know when something's ready, how to know when to taste something, and how to adjust it to make sure it's something that you want to eat and not just something I want to eat. So today we're going to make crispy tofu cubes, and they go perfectly with our fried rice, both in the book. So we're going to start the tofu first. So I have a block of extra firm tofu. This one did not need to be pressed because it's already firm enough, but if you have one that has a lot of water, if it feels too spongy, throw a cast iron skillet or something heavy on top of it to get some of the water out before you get started, because it'll give you a better texture once you're finished. So I'm going to cut this into cubes. I like to go three slices long ways, and then we'll go 4 across. So then we're going to end up with some cubes, uniform-ish in size. They don't have to be perfect. So to make them crispy, we're going to throw them in a bowl. We're going to toss them with a little bit of cornstarch. Don't go crazy, just for that block of tofu, we'll probably use about a tablespoon. So we'll sprinkle it in, toss it around so they've all got some starch on them. If you need to add a little bit more, you can. The starch is going to turn into a crust. I'm going to add a little bit more here. And then, since we're adding these to stir fry, they're going to get the flavor of the soy sauce and sesame oil that we're using to season the rice with. But if you're going to use this in, say, put it on a salad or a wrap or just a snack on, this is the point that you would add some flavor. You can season it with salt and pepper, or maybe you can do Italian seasoning. Anything you have in the spice cabinet, this is the point to pump up the flavor. But like I said, we're going to just rely on the seasoning that we're using in the fried rice, so I'm not going to add anything extra to it. So once you have your tofu coated in cornstarch, we're going to add a little bit of oil. Again, you just want to drizzle it to make sure that all of them are coated, but you don't want them to be drowning in it. So, whoops, tofu cube down. Toss them around. Once they're all coated, spread them out on a baking sheet. So give them a shake just to give them a little bit of space. And then we're going to put these into a 425 degree oven for 15 minutes or so, and then we're going to give them a flip. So while those are cooking, we will get started on the rice. So I'm using a wok because I have a wok. If you don't have one, you can use a large skillet or even just whatever pan you would use to cook spaghetti. So woks take pretty high heat. So I've got my flame up about medium high. We're going to add a little bit of oil in there, just enough to cover the bottom of the pan. We're going to make ours a little bit spicy, so I'm going to toss in some chili flakes. I'm not going to use all those though, that would be a lot. Chili flakes are totally optional. If you like it spicy, add a lot. If you don't want any spice, don't use any. This is also a good time to add garlic, but we are here in the middle of a quarantine and I don't have any. So no garlic is going in today. So we're gonna wait for the oil to get hot. We're gonna know once the chili flakes start to sizzle a little bit, we'll know that the oil is heated up. And then I'm going to use onions and carrots as the main vegetables for this. That's what they use at our favorite Thai place. I never really thought of fried rice as a main dish before we started ordering from there, but it totally is. You're gonna have the rice, got some vegetables, we're gonna have the tofu in there. It's really perfect. So I have chopped onion and chopped carrot They're gonna go in here. And then at this point, we're just making stir fry. We're gonna toss these around. Move them around a lot to make sure that they don't get burned. You wanna make sure the ones from the bottom where they're getting the most heat get pushed to the sides and vice versa. And we're gonna let this go until the onions start to brown and the carrots are tender. It'll probably take about 5 minutes or so. So we'll be back in a few. Hey everybody, so the tofu is ready to flip. I just want to show you what it should look like. So get out your handy tongs, and when the bottoms are all crispy like that, we're gonna just give each of them a little flip and send them back into the oven to finish cooking for another 15 minutes or so. So we'll see you then. All right, so our tofu is done. It's fully crispy. Our vegetables are cooked down. So now it's time to add the rice. So we're using leftover rice. I made too much the other day when we had tacos. You, of course, can cook rice specifically for this dish, but you're just gonna start with rice that's already been cooked. Go right into the wok with that. When rice gets cold, it tends to get sticky, so just break up any clumps that are in there. And now we're going to season it. So I'm going to use soy sauce. If you need it to be gluten-free, just use tamari or coconut aminos or whatever. My rice was cooked in vegetable broth, so it has a little bit of flavor already. So start with a little bit of soy sauce, just a little drizzle. And then stir it all around. You'll see how quickly it changes from white to brown as the soy sauce gets incorporated in there. So of course you can taste the rice and make sure that you have the level of seasoning that you want. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna add a drizzle of sesame oil. Which I'm just about out of, so it's a small drizzle of sesame oil today. And then we're gonna add our frozen peas. Our crispy tofu. And then we're just going to continue cooking this until everything is hot all the way through. Which will only take a few minutes. Remember, we are cooking on high heat. Keep everything moving. And there you have it. Just as good as takeout fried rice with crispy tofu. Now if you want to get fancy when you plate this up, you can top it with some sliced green onions or maybe even crushed peanuts, cilantro, sriracha, whatever you want. You can't go wrong. This is it. This is the dish. It's ready start to finish in about 30 minutes. Less than it takes for the delivery person to get here. We'll see you next time.